Rebels. It is Dr. Michelle Mazur, and I'm going live today to tell you my story of my speak to sell fail. And if you have followed me for any length of time, you know that I am not one for speak to sell, selling from the stage, any of those types of formulas. But the confession that I have for you is that when I first started my business, I fell for speak to sell. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Michelle Mazur. I'm the host of the Rebel Speaker podcast and also the CEO of Communication Rebel, where we help speakers get paid by creating a message that matters to their audience and the people who book speakers. So when I started this business about 6 years ago, I hired a coach because although I knew a little bit about how to run a business, I had no idea how to run my own business and how to create packages and offerings and to sell those packages and offerings. So I hired a coach and she helped sort me out on what I was offering. And then she's like, what would be perfect for you is to use speaking to sell your products and your packages. And I was like, oh, yeah, that totally makes sense. So she recommended Lisa Sasevich, who, as everyone knows, is the big speak to sell guru. And I looked at her course and just was like, I just made a big investment in business coaching. I didn't want to invest anymore. So my coach was like, well, here's the speech that I created using her system. You're smart, just deconstruct it. So that's what I did. I have a PhD in communication. It's not hard for me to figure out a formula. So I went ahead and I started deconstructing this speech. And the whole time that I was creating my own speak to sell speech where I could get clients so easily, my gut was screaming at me. My intuition was saying, Michelle, this is not how you want to sell. This is not how you want to show up in your business. This is going to feel really icky to you when you get on stage and try to deliver this message. And so I did what anyone would do. I totally ignored what my intuition was telling me. And I followed the guru, right? Because the advice is if you're feeling uncomfortable about something, it's not that it's wrong or wrong for you or out of alignment. You're just at the edge of your comfort zone and you just need to push yourself. Just push yourself out of your comfort zone. So I ignored what my brain was telling me and what my heart and my gut were saying, and I went ahead and created this speak to sell speech. And I wanted to test it out in front of a friendly audience, which, as all speakers, we have to test our material, and testing it in front of friendlies is always a good idea. So at the time, I was in Toastmasters, and I took this brilliantly constructed speak to sell speech to my Toastmasters club, and I know these people. These people know me. It's such a friendly and supportive environment to test out material. So I got up and gave the speech, and I felt really good giving the content. But when it came to the turn of phrases that I had to use to make the transition into the offer and to ratchet up the buying tension and to do all of those high pressured speak to sell techniques, I got really nervous. I started stumbling over my words. And when it came to the pitch, I just totally chickened out. I totally blew it. I couldn't do it because it was not who I was. And the bottom line is that your intuition should always be followed no matter what the gurus say. Because for me, I knew that Speak to Sell was using a lot of persuasion techniques that were highly effective, but also highly unethical to use. And that's not the way I wanted to do business. I knew that there had to be a better way. And what I have found through my business and working with speakers for the past 6 years in my business is that I'm not alone. There are so many people who have invested in a Speak to Sell boot camp or a course or a workshop, and then it has totally not worked for them because it's out of alignment. So what I've seen in my own practice is that there is a better way to get clients from speaking. And for me, I call that a speech that converts, where the objective is not to sell people on what you're doing or, to buy right now in the moment, but to get people and invite them into your world. And so the best way to do that, the 3 strategies to start yourself into this speech that converts rather than speak to sell mindset, is number 1, get super clear on what you're offering. Because even though you're not going to be doing the hard pitch on stage for them to do business with you, you still have to be clear about your offer and where you want speaking to take your business. So whatever that is, whether it's working one-on-one with you, trainings, workshops, products, apps, I don't care what it is, get really clear on that one thing. And if you haven't sold anything yet, don't do it. Just don't even bother. Get really clear on your service and sell some of those so you have product market fit before you even attempt this. And then the second part of this strategy is starting where the audience starts. So you've got to understand the problem that the audience has, the challenges that they're having, and how your solution can actually solve that. And make the case for it. Because guess what? Our problems aren't all that hard to figure out. Most people are struggling with time or money or health or love and relationships. So you have to know what your peeps are struggling with and then answer that for them. And then finally, it's about creating a way to follow up with people that is natural, that is aligned with your current sales process. So if you do a lot of sales calls or want complimentary consults or discovery calls, I do a lot of discovery calls, strategy calls in my business, that's what you should be offering them, and then take them through your normal sales process like you would anyone. Speaking can't replace that for you. So there you have it. That is my complete Speak to Sell fail. I never took that speech beyond my Toastmasters Club because it just felt so terrible. So I know it works great for some people and people have good success with it, but if it's not for you, don't listen to the guru. Find a different path because there are so many paths to success. And if you've enjoyed this free content that I have shared with you today, I thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested in learning more about a speech that converts, then have a conversation with me. It's a 30-minute call, and we'll talk about how to get you to a speech that converts at drmichellemazur.com/speak. Thank you so much for watching this live. If you liked it, share it, give me a thumbs up, and let me know that it's had an impact. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.